So Clint, of all the law practices that are out there, what has driven you to bankruptcy law?
People ask me that. How do you make your money, first of all? And I say, well, people pay before we get going, so that's you don't have accounts receivable issues. And basically, initially, I volunteered, like I said, to be the bankruptcy guy. But I found that I really gave a lot of satisfaction to people and who were in conflict. They're staying up awake at night. They just can't see the end of the tunnel, and they're really discouraged. And man, everybody that I come into my office, my goal is to make them laugh at least once in that meeting, even though they don't want to be there. It's like the dentist, right? Or worse. They come in there and they're just discouraged and they're frustrated and they don't want to be in bankruptcy. They don't even want to think about bankruptcy. And you know what? This is beyond our control. There are things that happen in a person's life that are just beyond your control. You do the very best you can, and you still may end up having to file a bankruptcy just because of circumstances that you can't control. I love being able to use the legal system to help those people through a hard time.
Do you ever feel like you're a counselor to people? I mean,
absolutely.
not a lawyer, but really, you've got to nurse them through this process sometimes, don't you?
I do. I keep a tissue box handy.
Really?
Seriously, I do. And it's very difficult. It's a really hard thing for people to go through.
And the things that have been happening here in the Valley of late, I mean, everybody in the country knows that Phoenix was probably hit as hard as any, if not harder than any community in the United States, maybe with the exception of Las Vegas. Are you seeing, a lot of increase in demand for your services, and are you finding that you're having to come up with more creative solutions for people?
Well, on the latter part, I'm not sure they have to be more creative. Sometimes we do, because there are people that their business has just dropped way down, but it's still operating. So how do I protect that? I know how to do that. I can keep keep the creditors at bay while you still operate your business. And not everybody knows how to do that. That's mostly involving reorganization type bankruptcies. But as far as the economy and how it's been, especially in the East Valley, it's ugly. Everybody knows that. You know somebody, everybody knows somebody, your neighbor or maybe you. Everybody's having difficult circumstances right now, and we didn't have control over that. This economy in Arizona was based on building and construction and real estate since statehood, right, for 100 years. And then suddenly it starts crashing down. Well, that has lots of repercussions. If I've got a husband who's a realtor and a wife who's a mortgage person, or if you're double up in the real estate industry, you're in deep trouble, and as you know. And so, I have seen a major uptick, and there's been a huge increase in recent years, generally, in filings. And that's also, by the way, why lots of lawyers have sprung up suddenly and become bankruptcy lawyers. I've been doing this since way before that, and I saw how that came about. And frankly, it's been a little scary, but there are competent people out there, and like I said, there's ways to research that.
Yeah, I remember reading some statistics not too terribly long ago that 1 out of every $3 was going in the Valley to construction or that industry. And with that having tapered off, I imagine that there's quite a few people that are, for lack of a better term, sucking wind. And
and it's affected every other aspect of our economy. People that, it used to be just the
trickle down.
The trickle down thing has trickled way down into surgeons and orthodontists, and I mean,
there's just not as much. There's just not as much disposable income out there.
There isn't.
Clint, fabulous, really. That's great insights, and I want to just advise that people, if they really believe bankruptcy is a good choice for them, that they seek out your services and your advice. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.